Alright, so I know it's been a little bit, but I want to get back to the Gnarly FPV Primo 3 because I only did one video on it, and that was when I first got the frame. I don't even think I did a video of it built. So I kind of wanted to talk about that and show their new motors. So here's one Primo 3 that I built. I had another one that I built with some different stuff, but this one has nameless 12 amp Whoop FC, XM Plus, Runcam Nano 2, Axie Micro, and then this is the Gnarly FPV's new motors. It's a 1203 7000 kV. So it's a pretty interesting size. I've never seen a size like this before. This is my first time seeing it. I know that there's some other ones that just came out recently. Not 1203. I think they're 1204 or maybe 1303 or something like that. I don't know. Whatever the ones Kebab just came out with for his Toothpick 3. But very interesting size. I really like it, and I think it's gonna be a good size. I haven't got to fly it yet. I just got these motors about 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, and it's been pouring down rain every day ever since I got them. There hasn't been one single chance for me to be able to fly this thing. But so real quick, I want to talk about the build. So actually, I'm glad that I'm doing this video right now because I just happened to be building one of the older Primos. So you can see how much taller the Primo 3 canopy is. This one right here is the old Primo, the red one, and you can see it's just real low profile, real thin. And then the Primo 3 one is much higher. It's like arced up more, or it has more material right here to make it go up taller. Actually, this part has more material as well, but you can see it's just all around bigger and more material. And let me see if it's wider too. It looks about the same width. It's pretty much the same there, but definitely taller. So the problem that people were having with the original Primo was not being able to fit stuff inside or underneath the canopy. So you can see if it was all the way down there, you have like zero room. I mean, you can see the space back here. You got space, and if you're using really small stuff, like for example a RXSR with the plug pulled off and direct soldered, or maybe a Crossfire Nano possibly, or an XM, but XM Plus is much bigger. And well, for the old one, what I would do sometimes is I would add a little spacer right here just to bring it up a tiny bit like that, you know, and then there's room. Or like I did on this one, which also has an XM Plus, I put it all the way in the back and I put it sideways. So I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera or not, but you can see a gap in between the receiver and the canopy. It's just a sliver, so you know that the canopy is not touching the receiver. So the only reason I wanted it that way is because I don't want anything pushing down on the flight controller, because I was having problems with the first Primo that I built, the Primo 3, where it was just wanting to blast off to the moon as soon as I armed it. And I tried everything. I mean, everything. What did work for me was actually using these props, the HQ 65mm ones. Not these ones, but the ones with the T-mount holes. But they're the same prop. But yeah, these ones on here worked really good. Not this one, but the other Primo 3 that I built. But when I put 3-inch props on it, it was just blasting off to the moon. And I tried everything, but nothing worked. So I got another one built here, and this one actually hovers perfect and feels like it's gonna fly very nice. So I need a sunny day that I can go fly it and try it out. So these motors, the thing that I think is pretty cool about them is they weigh 4.8 grams. So if you think about it, for example, the Beta FPV 1105 6000 kV weighs 5.2. The HGLRC Flame 1105 6000 kV weighs 6 grams. So, and this is a 1203, and it's lighter than an 1105. So that's kind of cool. Another thing that's cool is they have plugs. They come with plugs on them. So with this nameless flight controller, I like to get it with the pins not soldered on, and then I stick them on the bottom side and solder them in. Just makes it cleaner and look better that way. I like this Pyro drone strap. It's very nice. It's probably like a ½ inch longer than the strap that you get with the frame, because I like to run like a 525 3S. You can use the stock strap with this battery, but it just barely has a little bit of grip on it. So this Pyro drone strap's perfect for this battery. But actually, I don't know what battery I'm going to use. Like I said, I haven't flown this yet, so I plan on trying out. See, it's just perfect for this battery. I plan on trying out a 452S first, because it is 7000 kV and a 3-inch prop, you know, so 2S should be pretty good on it. But I am also going to try 3S, so I'm not sure if they just sent me these things, but there's these little TPU pieces that I put under the motors, and you kind of need them. So I hope that they do send them with the frames now, because, or even with these motors, because if you don't have these and you go to put the motor down, the bottom of the shaft that sticks out the bottom of the motor, because since these holes for the shaft don't go all the way through on this frame, as you can see there, the shaft on the bottom ends up hitting the frame, and then it doesn't spin good. So you got to raise them up a tiny bit with these TPU things, and then they spin just fine, which I prefer this way anyway, because, you know, it keeps dirt and crap from getting up in the inside your motor and in your bearings and stuff. So yeah, I'm just waiting for sun. I really want to fly this thing, but it's probably going to be a little bit. Hopefully it stops raining here soon. That's what you get living in the Northwest. Nothing but rain. Let's see. Oh, they have another canopy too that they just made, and I have one on the way, so I will show it as soon as I get it. And it apparently gives you even more space than this one does. So like I was saying, this old original Primo, you don't have very much room at all. This one gives you a little bit more room, but it's still not enough, because if you look here, you can see the camera. I would say from the flight controller to the bottom of the camera, I got about 3 millimeters. And then what I do is I stick the VTX to the back of the camera, and you can see underneath the VTX, I probably got about 2 millimeters, but you can't see through because the wires from the VTX are going underneath that way. So, and the other thing too is I brought the flight controller down as far down as I could. Normally it would be up probably another millimeter or 2 millimeters up higher than it is, but I wanted to get it down as low as possible for that extra room. So if you do it the way that I do it, this canopy is going to work totally fine. If you put the VTX up against the back of the camera, put the receiver sideways in the back, it'll be all good. And on this particular flight controller, since it has the USB coming out the side here, I did have to cut out the antenna tube holder right here. As you can see, you got one on this side, there isn't one on this side because I cut it off. That is only because, like I said, I was trying to get the flight controller down as far as possible. So if I put it in the regular spot where the flight controller would normally go, you wouldn't have to cut out this antenna tube. And then also, if you're using a different flight controller like this one, you know, USB comes out the bottom, you don't even have to worry about that at all. But the other thing too is that their new canopy actually has antenna tubes coming out the top of the canopy. So your antenna tubes are going to be coming out of here. So it's going to have this same hole for the axis, but then also antenna tubes. And you get about 2 or 3 more millimeters of space. It's going to be 2 or 3 millimeters taller. So that canopy, I think, is going to be the winner. And it's going to, you know, work for everybody. No matter what you're going to use, it's going to fit. So, because it would be really nice to be able to fit like the receiver underneath the camera or something like that, you know, and still be able to get your angles and everything, and then fit the VTX in the back here or whatever. Especially if you're using a crossfire or something like that, where you want the receiver as far away from the VTX as possible. You know, that'd be nice to be able to separate them that far. That would be perfect. But anyway, it's got the 9x9 hole pattern, T-mount top, 4.8 grams. It's got the plug. They also have some new LEDs now. I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice. I hope I'm not getting sick. That would suck. So this is the gnarly FPV LEDs. They look just like the Flywoo ones. They're the same size and everything. I think that's who makes them, but they do say gnarly FPV on them. And they have blue, green, and white. And then they also have the race wire. No LED. Flywoo has all kinds of different ones. They have 4x10, 4x15, 4x20, and then 9x15. I think they have 9x10. I don't know if they have 9x20. These are their 4x20. So this is all one piece right here. You get 2 LEDs, one piece. I'm not sure if yeah, that should work just fine across the arm. So it's going to take up pretty much the whole arm. But I'm not going to use them right now. I just slapped this together because I wanted to fly it so bad as soon as I got the motors, but it was just raining, so yep. I think I covered everything, so yeah, when that new canopy shows up, I will do another video. And of course, when the weather gets nicer, I will show some DVR of this bad boy on 2S and 3S. All right.